What's up everybody, Alex here, and what a shift in the meta we've had with the Contraptions update. So here are 5 builds that you can use this week to help climb the ranks in Dota Underlords. The first is the Scrappy and Shaman build. I have the first early iteration of this because you have to start off strong with this build. You gotta be in like the top 4, by round 10 to 15. So a good start's really important. And what you're gonna use Bloodseeker and Sniper together to pick off the the units using the new Deadeye. You want to take out guys early. Tinker in the back, his 3 attack range is perfect for kind of shooting over Clockwork and Timbersaw, who are your tanks. Bounty Hunter is going to be carrying the workload as well, finishing off your Scrappy bonus. And overall, it's a very strong opening, but the key is what this gets to. As you continue, you're going to want to shift eventually to this in the late game. Again, you have a 9-unit build here. You have Techies and Gyrocopter, both the ace units. Gyrocopter is the ace of Deadeye, which is going to allow you to not miss any of your shots on Gyrocopter and Sniper. And finally, Techies is going to create the chain reaction. Now, I have to note, I believe the chain reaction will be nerfed or at least dialed back a little bit within this week because, oh my gosh, if you've seen the memes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is absolutely broken. Hopefully you have a Blink Dagger on Techies, and Timbersaw, even with an Octarine, Timbersaw is doing so much work right now. This is a great build. Arc Warden's going to be producing his spawn right about here, so it's going to be protecting the Engima and Sniper and Gyrocopter. So overall, an absolutely excellent build. The spawns being created by the Primordials will benefit from the ace of the Shamans, which is going to create a 10% chance for all units, regardless of whether or not they're summons or not, to basically create a chance for the unit attacking to be turned into a chicken and hop around. Super useful, especially when you consider the tankiness of this build. An excellent build overall. And for the second build, we once again have ourselves the Shamans, but this time with a splash of Knights and Demon Hunters. Knights are really effective with Shamans because once you have your ace unit in Engima, the Knights are super tanky, they take a lot of damage, they heal themselves, they keep themselves up, and the result of that is that you're able to maximize the opportunity to get that 10% chicken transformation off with the key unit Engima. Now, we're using Terrorblade and Anti-Mage here because they're not as contested right now, but they're still super effective, especially if you can get like a Daedalus or a Blink Dagger on Terrorblade. And again, Viper's back here. He's enabling the Dragon Knight transformation. You can actually move Viper up front if you want, to use his corrosive skin to slow down the attacking units. Overall, a very strong build. Oh, and Arc Warden's going to produce his copy right about here. He's going to protect himself and Engima. Batrider can be relatively tanky, especially when he's in the vicinity of the other knights there. Pretty much a solid build. And for the third build of the week, we have our 6 warrior comp with Primordials and Shamans. We're using warriors because once again, they are super tanky. And once you get your ace unit Engima, that's going to increase the opportunity to get that 10% chicken transformation. You also have Tidehunter, Kunkka, and Tiny doing a ton of stuns. Stuns are super valuable in this game. You have Morphling, who does an AoE damage attack, who you're able to get nice and early and build up to 3 stars. Slardar, who's going to be increasing the amount of damage you're doing. You can also have Arc Warden. So Arc Warden, once again, is going to be protecting himself with his copy and the Engima. This is a great build. The amount of stuns you're doing and their tankiness of it, and once you get Engima in there, you're going to see bouncing chickens all over the place. Honestly, very effective. Love this build. Let me know how it goes for you. And for the fourth build, we've got ourselves the classic Knights and Warlocks. Now, this time here, we got Disruptor, who is now the ace of Warlocks, which is going to apply the Warlock ability to 2 separate units. So 2 separate units, including the Disruptor, are going to be given healing whenever the Disruptor, Necrophos, or Witch Doctor casts their spells. Bear in mind, Necrophos heals with his spell, so it's going to be a double duty there when he casts his spell. He's going to be healing with the actual spell itself and healing with the damage caused to the enemy missiles as well. It's going to create a lot of sustain for these Knights who are going to be able to keep that front line ready for Luna, who hopefully has a Mask of Madness or a Moon Shard, and Dragon Knight, who's been transformed as well. A lot of damage potential here. Witch Doctor's skill is absolutely fantastic, and again, we have our Viper. You can move Viper around if you'd like, but overall, a very solid build, reliant on Disruptor as the ace of Warlocks. One added thing that I'll add here that I've been testing, which I've been pretty successful with, is removing Witch Doctor and adding an Alchemist. Now, you might think that's a little odd, but Alchemist is still a Warlock, which is going to kind of take advantage of the healing done through the Disruptor kind of bonus, but also he's going to reduce the armor of all the units that are in his field, his Acid Spray field, which also increases the DPS of the Knights, which we need so badly. So, Alchemist is a pretty good fill-in for Witch Doctor, honestly, in the late game if you get him. He's a little contested right now, but still, something worth considering. And for the final build of today, we got something interesting. We've got Scrappy Mages. So, I've been playing with this because with the Lich being the Ace of Mages, it greatly increases the amount of mana regeneration occurring on the team. That's going to benefit someone like Tinker, who we have in the protected spot in the corner, because with Maiden and the Lich's regenerative abilities, we want, you know, especially a 3-star Tinker, to be just casting his missiles over and over and over again. Now, the goal here is to remove Bounty Hunter eventually and add Techies with Blink Dagger. That is going to create the chain reaction that everyone loves with the Ace of Inventors. Now, totally it's going to get nerfed, but right now, you want to get the Techies in there with a Blink Dagger, you want to blink him into the back, and you want to do tons of damage to that rear line and cause that chain reaction. Now, again, you could switch these two, but I suggest leaving Tinker where he is in that corner. Along with Keeper of the Light and Sniper, you're going to have the opportunity to do a ton of damage, especially with the Lich bonus to regeneration. Now, you might be wondering, Alex, what about the contraptions? You've not mentioned contraptions yet. Well, what I decided to do is keep the build straightforward for now. The reason why is because contraptions in their current form are not something you can completely bank on. You cannot build a strategy around pulling any specific contraption. Their pull rate is semi-rare, so what I will say is that Target Buddy and Tombstone are the two you want. Tombstone works wonders in the Knight build because of the close proximity of everybody and how the fight is generally very centralized. Target Buddy works wonders too. It's great, especially in like the Scrappy builds. Like the Scrappy build will definitely benefit from Target Buddy, as will the Mage build for sure. But the Healing Ward and the Barricades, I feel like they're a little underpowered right now. Healing Ward needs to be doing more healing, and Barricades, perhaps you need a few more. They're not quite doing enough to prevent access to the weaker units. That being said, a Barricade here beside Crystal Maiden would be perfect, right? One there and one there, no problem. You can still use them, but they're not quite as effective. Target Buddy and the Tombstone are the two you want if you get them, and just use them intelligently as you can on the board. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers. You guys are the absolute best. Take care and have a wonderful day.